Film gods, what are you saying? I mean, we are the luckiest people to have ever graced this beautiful spinning orb in the middle of infinite nothingness, creating beautiful things for people so that they can switch off at the end of a day and just let beauty and creativity hit their eyeballs. I'm your host, Isusko, aka the Time Scheduler on the Instagrams. But welcome to the Film God podcast for all you first timers. What are you saying? Where you been? You have missed out on so much. For all you long time listeners, it still blows my mind, honestly, every single day that we have downloads across this beautiful spinning orb of ours. I'm going to keep this intro short and sweet. Today's ep, we talk to everyone along their journey, whether they are 20, 30, 40-year veterans or someone starting off on their journey. And today's guest, she's done some stuff, but I think she'd even say that she's not where she is going to be. And the end of the ep really got me. She was so just brilliantly speaking her Oscar acceptance speech that I totally got sucked in and thought we were talking about now. And I think the beauty of this episode and the beauty of this guest is hearing someone that's starting their journey, has been doing it for a few years, but has a very clear intention of where they want to go and of who they are, more importantly, and what their story is. And that to me is the beauty of today's ep, is that they know who they are, they know their story, they know the stories that they want to tell. And in the coming years, we are going to be blessed with documentaries and feature films from today's guest. And I can't wait to get her on in 5-10 years time when she's got her Oscar, and we can look back at this episode and go, I fucking knew it. I knew it. So shout out to our sponsors, Creative Caves. Another big shout out to Sydney Certified. For anyone wanting to get into camera, go check them out. And I've also been digressing and listening to a man called Peter Crone, who is the Mind Architect. And if anyone just going through a little something, go check him out. Go absolutely check him out, because it gives you some tools and the abilities to understand that actually the expectations of where you think you ought to be are just your thoughts and beliefs, and they are not your truth. And your truth is that you are exactly where you need to be at exactly the time you need to be there to learn whatever lessons that we had to learn. So ladies and gentlemen, I love you all. Thank you for listening. Like, subscribe and share, and send this to someone who you think needs to hear it. And let's get down to the ep.
Ladies and gentlemen.
So Film God family, podcast listeners, we're going to be in for such a treat today. We've got someone who is not from the UK, and this is going to be an amazing insight into what is happening globally in the world of film and in the world of creative content creation. And I'm so pleased. We've tried to kind of get a few kind of days in, and she's been busy, I've been busy, and today it's a Sunday, the day of rest, but there is no rest in the creative industries. So without any further ado, thank you so much for coming on. What is your name and what is your role on the call sheet?
Thank you for having me. My name is Safiyah, and my role, it's funny because I have different roles. So I'm like a director and a DP.
Amazing. And I guess one of the main reasons I wanted to get you in is we had a chat with Toby Walsham a few episodes back, and what he's doing and what the company are trying to kind of get on with and be the first to kind of adopt is technology and where that's taking us. So from a journey perspective, when did you know that directing and the film industry was where you were going to end up?
I didn't. I went to school for fashion. I thought I was
wow.
gonna be this dope fashion designer until I started to sew, and I said, yeah, I can't do this. I can't sew. I can't sit there. And I said, so you have to really love this in order to stick with it, you know?
Mm.
But I would say like picking up a camera was my brother. He was an artist, a music artist, and he was like, "Hey, you have a camera. Why not just use it to film me?" I didn't even know what he was talking about. I didn't know how to film. I didn't know anything. And once I started to, learn and shoot him, and I started to love that format of like creativity, just like filming with the camera. That's how
Mm.
that started.
Mm. And at what point, like, there's no film school, there's none of that. I think there's so much. Were you big? Did you watch a load of films? Was there something that you were kind of going, oh, well, I'll start on a wide and go in? Or how did you learn that craft of filming?
Um, yeah, I didn't go to school. The way I learned was being consistent with shooting a lot of different videos around the neighborhood for all these artists. And what I did do is I YouTubed everything I had questions about. Something I didn't know, I said, let me YouTube it. YouTube was very,
So
very
useful.
good. Yeah, it's so useful. That's your resource. You know what I mean? So I was able to learn about different lenses. I was able to learn about editing. I actually was a one-man band. I didn't think of it that way, but literally at that time, I was doing everything because I had to learn. I was a student. So, that
Mm.
was cool.
And were you at school at the same time, or had you left high school or college or uni, or what? When was that kind of? It sounded like you went in with a clear vision of wanting to get into fashion and creating clothes and creating that kind of. I mean, creativity seems like it's always been part and parcel of who you are, and that, and it's in your blood. So, was it an easy step to just go, oh well, I'll pick up a camera?
No, it wasn't easy because, like I said, I had to learn a lot of things. But fashion, after that, I left. I just couldn't be in a place where I didn't feel, the love for what I was doing. I just couldn't keep doing it. So I stayed on my grandmother's couch, contemplating life, like any 21-year-old would do.
Gotta love
Um,
grandmothers for that.
yeah,
They
you
let you
gotta
do
love
it. Yeah, yeah.
it. And yeah, like it wasn't easy. I would have to say my brother was a big help because he would tug me at it. Like, come on, you gotta. He was very motivating to keep me there. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But yeah, yeah, that helped. YouTube helped to gain the love that I was looking for something, like have that passion for something.
Mm, and that, because I guess I hear a lot of people when they first kind of walk onto film sets, they have this little like imposter syndrome, that kind of like a little voice on the shoulder that's just like, you ain't supposed to be here. They know, everyone here knows more than you, that kind of
Right.
stuff. But when did you, like that cutting of your teeth with family, that must have been a really nice safe space feels like the wrong phrase, but a place to be able to make mistakes and to learn. So, how many of those music videos or promos or content had you been making when you suddenly went, "Oh, actually, I'm not bad at this. I can do this."
Um, when people wanted to hire me, I was doing so many music videos. To be real, they were not good to me. When I look back at it, they weren't good, but it shows my consistency of like what I was doing, what I was trying to do. When I shot for Fetty Wap before, I don't know if you guys know who that is, but he lived in my neighborhood and he was a big artist at the time. So when he wanted me to do a music video, I was like, I'm pretty good at this then. You know what I mean? But here's the kicker. I didn't really like music videos after a while because I didn't like the fast pace of music videos.
Hmm.
Um, I I preferred it slow. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't mind slow pacing music videos, but I enjoy documentaries. I realized documentaries is where I want to be when
Mm-hmm.
I was shooting music videos. I was like, documentaries seem like the place I could go, and because it's
Mm.
slow, it's storytelling. And I
Yeah.
know music videos are still that storytelling, and it's really cool. It's really creative. But I am someone that's raw. So I like raw stories that are like, dealing with like real people.
Mm. Yeah. Well, that documentary kind of gives you the freedom that you have at a because look, most music videos, you've got an artist.
Mm,
Most labels are going to want their face in a vast majority and percentage of the music video because that's the brand, that's what they're selling, in inverted commas. But that documentary vibe. So when did you then start feeling like documentary then was the calling?
So I had one more job because I realized I needed money to buy more
Yeah.
equipment. I worked at the post office and I was delivering mail. And all these memories are coming back. This one guy was like, "Oh, you're gonna be here forever." I used to want to do video, and I'm like 66 now. I started at 23, and I was like, "I'm not gonna stay here." But anyway, um, I listened to Hot 97. It's a radio station, it's very popular, and I really wanted to work there, and I didn't know how I was gonna get there. But I remember, um, you guys know about Craigslist?
Yes.
Craigslist, I need to put people on game. Craigslist, do not take that for granted. Go on Craigslist. I went on Craigslist and somebody said, "Oh, shooting a music video would love help." I said, let me see what they're doing.
Mm,
I went and I met a guy who worked for Hot 97. And from there, he gave me his email and he got me an interview and I got the job. So I was able to leave my post office job and work at this radio station where they did interviews like podcasts. It wasn't even called podcast back then. It was just like an interview because it was an
mm,
interview show, radio show. And they shot documentaries and I was like, yeah, this is it. Like I love documentaries. I love talking about things that are interesting, people, their lives and the cool things that they're doing. And it's the pacing for me. I really enjoyed that. So yeah.
mm. And so had you already been starting? I'm just trying to piece together the timeline. You're at high school or university, whatever the college.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
doing
left
doing
college.
fashion. Yeah, left college, started
Mhm.
shooting for your brother, started shooting kind of music videos. So had
Mhm.
already started to get some understanding of the concept and the process. Then Hot 97 comes along. You start doing kind of vox pop documentary, that kind of filming. How do you get from there to then what you're doing now, and what's that journey been like from a young, I guess, inexperienced in the process to then keeping at it and not ending up 40 years as a in the postal services? Where's that journey been like?
Hmm. That journey, it has been tough still. I mean,
Mm,
I'm definitely not where I was before, but like how I got here, like right now, I would say it's the love that I have for storytelling.
mm,
That's literally what I can tell you. I connect with a lot of people. I'm very personable. I love talking to people. I love um also it's word of mouth, it's networking. I feel like if you're outside shooting something, somebody's gonna see like, oh my goodness, I would love to work with you. I have this project, or I know somebody that needs some work. It was a lot of that, and it was a lot of me trying to put all the work that I've done together, combine it, make a reel, and that's actually how Toby found me. Like I was like, I need to when I'm on Instagram, I'm looking at other people's work and I'm like, oh, I need to do something like this so I can get this specific type of job. Now,
mm,
the music videos I was doing then didn't look good, but I felt like I can do better. And I kind of like put a lot of the clips together. You know how when you make a reel, it's quick, it's fast.
yes.
And I did that, and Toby found me when I put my reel out. And also, I was emailing a lot of these companies, like saying, "Hey, I would love to be repped." And Toby was the only one that came back to me and was like, "Hey, would love to chat with you, and talk about being represented." Um, I was shocked because, I, as an artist, sometimes you kind of like are your worst critic. You don't really think that your work is that great.
Mm,
Um, so it was dope to see that Toby was interested in trying to connect with me and helping me grow as an artist because that's the biggest thing, right? Growing as an artist, we need people to see us and we need people to want to elevate us just as much as we want to elevate ourselves. I don't know if I answered your question, but how I got here from then, I feel like it's just the consistency. It's the love of what I have for this industry and storytelling, I would say more so, and the connection of connecting with people.
mm. And do you use that because it sounds when you speak you've got this real love of people's stories, of who they are, of kind of digging deeper. And yes, you can kind of, I mean, in the world of music videos, the person has written a song that probably is quite personal to them, but there's nothing as personal as a documentary. And shooting the documentaries, has that improved your ability to then make better commercials, make better music videos because you're very much more kind of character led?
Yeah, it did because like every time I did a project, I was learning something new. Like learning, I used to work by myself. I started to work with people. I started to learn how to collaborate, which is super important in this industry. You have to collaborate with people. You have to know how to communicate. You have to be kind. You have to, do all that stuff. And um, yeah, forgot your question.
Yeah, that's good. No, I like it. And then,
Yeah.
like, because as you're saying what you're saying there, I vision that younger you that is, as you said, a one man band that kind of does it all, camera,
Yeah.
editing, all the rest of it, and then you get onto the larger sets, and you do have a DOP and a gaffer
Mhm.
with lighting and riggers and people, and that level of control kind of gets needs to be diluted across an entire film set.
Mhm.
Whereas maybe when you started, it was like, no, 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 I got to do this. Give me the camera. Oh, I know the shot I want to get. How is
Yeah.
that? How easy is it to kind of give that control over to other creatives?
I'm still learning to do that. I don't know if you remember, but we worked together on the set too.
Well, who? Me and you.
Thierry Henry, yeah, remember? And you kept
Oh,
coming.
with the football thing,
Yeah,
and he was
yeah,
sitting down the documentary thing. Oh
yeah.
shit!
So when you came to me, I was like, oh my God, everybody's coming to me. Like I'm still trying to figure this out. Like you know
Oh
what I mean?
shit! Of course. Fuck. Do you know what? My brain has totally forgotten that job because it was
Yeah,
Toby's
yeah,
brother as well, wasn't it? Toby's brother
yeah.
was doing the thing. That was a nice
Mhm.
spot. I haven't seen it. Did it? Did
Yeah.
it? Did it come out nice?
It came out nice. I really liked
Okay.
it. Yeah. So I'm still learning, you know what I mean? It's funny. I feel like I have way more control over my passion projects than I do the commercial stuff.
Mm,
Um, I love to have creative freedom. And when you're working with like agencies and, brands you're just literally listening to everything that they want and
mm,
hoping that they trust your vision. So
Well, that the world of commercials it's such a very specific niche, especially for a director, because you have an agency that have thought of an idea. They've
mm,
spent, I don't know, 4, 5, maybe longer months really niching into the word, the idea, the concept. And then they hand it over to you
mm.
and they're asking you to then put your own stance on it, put your own little flavor to it. Where do you get that? Have you got like a little well of creative kind of things that you kind of pop to that you like? And then that the colors, the images, the textures, the sound, is it a cultural thing? Is America, does it have a very specific feel that you can then put into that a UK agency would go, yeah, we want it to feel like New York. Yeah, we want it to feel like Atlanta. Yeah, we want it to feel like, whatever. Is that a nice USP for yourself? If you got it kind of British people have a very British idea of what things look like and sound like, and is that a? I guess the question, there is no question. I think what I'd like to know is from your perspective, coming over and shooting in the UK or shooting in America, do you find that there's a difference between what they're asking you to get and the ideas and the creatives?
Well, to be honest with you, I haven't really done much commercials. Like
Okay.
I done a few, and I would say like I'm still doing these chemistry calls. I'm still trying to figure that out. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Because I'm a director that doesn't really get a lot of the opportunity that I want.
Hmm.
And it's also because of like them not, I guess like them receiving my work and not like jumping. at what they see. I guess I don't know if that's what it is, but yeah. So I don't
Hmm.
really know the difference. I mean, you guys use different terms. That's just pretty much
Yes. Yeah.
it. But I'm not even focused on that. I'm just focused on like the control part, like you said, like the chemistry calls and also being in control. Like I want to be confident in the control.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I'm still
How much of
working.
that creative control are you given? And do you find that documentaries give you a lot more freedom for that control?
Yeah, I do. I really do. It yeah, I mean, and also if you're gonna ask about my process when it comes to like thinking about the documentary or the stories that I want to
Yes.
tell, it definitely starts with film scoring. That helps me with
Ah.
so many ideas. I listen to a lot of really good film scorings. Like I love damn, I forgot the name. Shit, I forgot the name, but I have like a whole Spotify playlist of film scores that I really enjoy listening to, which help like ignite a lot of these ideas. I start with that, and then I go in and I start to write like what I see, especially when I have like an idea of the storyline that the story I'm trying to tell. But I would say, yeah, it starts with music. It definitely starts with the music because I think music plays a really big part in trying to tell the story and like having people immerse themselves in what we're trying to say, to
Hmm.
visualize.
Hmm. Yeah, music. I mean, if you watch, someone showed me it was like the Star Wars end theme with and without music. It makes no sense. It makes no sense without John Williams' score. It just doesn't. And then you watch it with the music, and you go,
Yeah,
ah,
yeah.
yeah, okay. There's so much that can be said with
Mm,
just the right instrument and the right percussion and the right all of those little moments. And I honestly thought you were going to kind of say the first thing that you would do would be watch things or look at things, but actually the audio, the sense of getting a feel for a project through the sound. That's a
mm,
really smart way of doing it because you can get a lot more from the idea of where you want to go and who you want to be. I think it was like Quentin Tarantino. He said that there was every time he starts, similar to yourself, he'll look at the music of the time, of the culture, of the environment, of the place, and that
mm,
starts to bring in a bit of a story in itself. I love
mm.
that. So just as a case for an example, like a documentary that you've shot recently, you start with the music, you know the person, you start with
Mm.
the music. Where do you go then next? What's your next that creative process of trying to dig deeper into the character and the person and the idea of what it is that you want to shoot?
Building rapport with the subject. Like I told a story about, well, it was a short doc about a friend of mine. Her name is Amber Tam, and she lost both her parents the same day. Her
Oh,
father was a
Jesus.
police officer. He shot her mom. And she found love from, the things her mom used to say is, make sure that you plant, just plant, go to uh the forest, look at greenery, stuff like that. And she just found love into like and she found love in planting and in just being outside and that's like her mother now, outside
Mm,
mother. So yeah, from there like it's good to kind of like build a relationship with the person I'm trying to tell a story about and um respectfully asking what things that I shouldn't show. I want to make sure I'm respecting what their needs, but also
yep.
um you know, adding like images. I use Shot Deck a lot. That helps having images with the music. Um,
Did you say shot deck?
Shot Deck. You
And so what
use
does
that?
that? No, I've never heard of it. And what is it? Like a Pinterest? You kind of just put images together, stick some audio in there, and then it just starts creating a bit of a snowball downhill for the creative.
Yeah, Shot Deck is amazing. It is like a Pinterest, but they only have stills of films that
Oh
have been
wow.
out. Yeah, it's really dope. The color concept is there too, so you're able to kind of see the color that you're looking to go
Yeah.
for. They have film, they have digital, they have all the things that you need. And that really helps me visualize the story even more. This is what I was gonna say too. I know a lot of people need to kind of like watch other videos to be inspired and to have like some sort of vision. Yes, for me, it starts with music because I'm big on originality. I like to be original, and I don't
Mm.
want to always look at other people's stuff. And other people's stuff is great, but like I wouldn't go to that first. I would wait for that, and I'll just make sure that I'm using my vision first that comes up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you don't want to muddy the water with a shot that's already been done, a scene that's already been
Yeah.
done. It kind of to
Yeah.
kind of find that originality, that clear-headedness, and maybe even some people kind of, as you said, your friend, they kind of go into nature. That walk can clear a head. That the sound of a bird can
Mhm.
give you an idea. The sound of the sirens of a fire alarm, of a police thing. All of those things are part of that creative process. And
Mhm.
I love that it's quite a methodical process. It's like I start with the music, then I find the images, and in that process, maybe do you, as you speak to people and as you're getting closer to that person, that character, add new music, add new images. So then I guess it then layers up and layers up, and then after X amount of time, you've got this kind of bible of audio and visual that then
Mhm.
you can then start creating a theme to it.
Yeah, exactly. And also having, depending on, if it's a big or a small doc, like having your crew, like I had my editor and me talk about the project. It was a small doc and me and my editor spoke about it because I also wanted him to know the flow of the edit
Mm,
or it was shot, like, and he mentioned some ideas too. And that documentary is what helped me, realize, wow, it's not just about my ideas. It's literally all of our ideas combined together. It's yeah, that's kind of like where that started.
yeah, well, Spielberg, there was a good podcast I listened. Spielberg was like, Jaws wouldn't be Jaws without John Williams, because
Mhm.
they were going to make the film. They spent most of the budget on this robotic shark that broke.
Mhm.
So it was like, right, John, you got to help me out here, brother. You got to give me something here. And he's like,
Mhm.
I got you. And he came back with that, dun, dun, and it
Mhm.
just sets the scene. You know that there's just a big shot of an ocean. Those couple of notes, you know that there's a shot coming, and that
Yeah.
creative bond between you and your editor is that. Do you just give them the rushes and you go, right, give me a first pass and let me see, or do you sit over the shoulder and kind of go, actually, I'd like it to flow. Yeah, how much of a first pass you give them?
I let him do his thing. I think it's important for artists to have freedom in their creative desires. Like, you know what I mean? Being over the shoulder all the time is just going to make them not want to work with you.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Like, and we're not, this is, especially if it's a passion project, we're not working for no, like, we're doing this together. So, like, I'm going to allow you to do your thing and then we'll come together with both of our ideas on how we can make it look great. You know what I mean? So,
mm.
I would definitely say one or two passes
Yeah,
easily.
nice, nice.
Yeah.
And I guess moving forward to the technology side of life that seems to be becoming a bigger fish in a small pond at the minute for the world of documentaries and for the world of that content creation and or idea creation. What are you using now, or how are you using the tech around us to help with projects?
What am I using? I would say I'm what I've used AI for so far. I would say um I've used Sana. I think that's how you pronounce it. I've used Sana to kind of like help with like my script writing as well.
Mm,
Um, and it's been really good. Uh, I think especially if you can't get detailed within scenes, use Sana. You can use ChatGPT for that too. Grant writing, use Chat, at least to help enhance the writing a bit. Um, I've also used, it starts with an R, but I've used it for um, storyboarding.
okay.
Yeah, because I really love how their technology looks. Their visuals look really good,
Mm,
and it's moving as well. So it kind of can help, when companies can see, oh, you have the whole visual here. I mean, yeah, there's other you could use Adobe, you could use not Illustrator, you could use some of the Adobe apps to kind of like help enhance it. But definitely I used um about three of the AI apps to kind of like help enhance like storyboarding, script writing, grant writing. It's been helpful,
mm.
especially when you can't afford these things. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
So
I think that's part of the chat. Without technology, without the AI, this podcast wouldn't kind of be going out. Without the use of all of the technology that kind of happens in our industry, we wouldn't be able to shoot on, in space, in Mars, on the moon. These things have been happening for a little while. And from a pre-production perspective, using all of the AI tech, has it helped them moving forward into production and pre-production and post-production?
I would definitely say it helped for pre-production,
Yep.
not production. Yeah, I actually haven't used Firefly like for Premiere. I haven't used any of those things yet. But I only use like the AI tools before shooting, like for free.
Because I guess in documentary world that the content the content is captured in the moment, and that's the
Yeah,
beauty of documentary.
that's the beauty of it. Like, yeah, there has to be a balance. You don't want to just use AI, because if the future looks like that, then we got to step up our prompt game because it's just a whole nother level right there. But if we're using it to assist us, that's the difference. Just use it for assisting and um, allowing these organic ideas to come from you and just keep it. I don't know, keep a balance, keep a good balance. What I
No,
believe.
I like it. Yeah, because I think I guess the more you plug into that tech, the more it knows you, the more it starts to build your own palette. The
Yeah.
more you go into those shot deck, they'll go, I'll tell you something you might like. Here's something that you might have used in that other project, and and it starts to kind of you start to create your own visual language through all the other things that have happened. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
like it. And then looking at where you are now and moving forward, where do you see that kind of 5 year, 10 year plan? What is it? What is it that your heart desires? Where, if someone was like, right, magic one time in 10 years' time, you're exactly where you want to be. What are you doing? Where are you? What projects are you on? Who are you working with? Where's your career going?
Oh, my career, I'm gonna be directing TV shows and feature films with bigger backings. That's what I'm gonna be
Nice.
doing. I definitely structured my plan, my 7 year plan. I have somewhere to be, so I'm headed there. So that's where I'm gonna be.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And music videos, more of those, more
Now,
documentaries as well.
documentaries, yes, for sure. Documentaries, TV shows, and feature films. Music videos, no. That would probably just be for fun, but like, yeah, I'm trying to tell some real stories before I leave this world. I want to
Hmm.
tell all the real shit, and that's it.
Uh, and what's that one story that in the back of your mind you've already started writing? What is that story?
Ooh, I got two for you. There's a feature film that is going to help catapult my career, and it's well, two feature doc and a feature film. One is If Only You Knew, and it's about a woman confronting her father about his absence, and that's really big it's big all over, but it's not really talked about in Caribbean culture. I'm Jamaican,
Okay.
so there's a lot of traumatic things that, especially a woman that, especially someone like me that wasn't born there. I was born in the US. So there's a disconnect, one. And two, having a father not being there, there's that. Um, so I really feel like it's relatable to a lot of people in the world that had an absent parent and how these parents can walk around not even thinking about that child,
Hmm.
you know? as an adult, we carry these rejections and these abandonment, like feeling. So that's one feature. And I'm gonna also put masculine presenting women in the forefront. Um, I'm a I'm a lesbian woman, but I'm trying to say it correctly where I'm a black lesbian Caribbean woman. And I feel like we just don't really see that on the big screens. I want to see myself. Like I just
Mm,
want us to talk our shit. I want us to keep it real. I want us to not hold back because at the end of the day, we are still women. We're still feminine. We have feelings. You know what I mean?
mm.
But yeah, that's that. You should watch my short. You don't have to like me because that's kind of like the start of the idea.
Okay.
And then the next feature is about LGBTQ Caribbeans, and I'm going to talk about the LGBTQ queers in Jamaica and how we have queer culture there. You know what I mean? From the 40s and the 50s, no one talks about that. So
Yeah.
this would be a really big feature documentary. I'm actually going
Mm.
to Portugal to film one of the elders who's a Chinese Jamaican man who started the Gaily News. Think of the Daily News, but he
Yes.
called it the Gaily News to connect
Nice.
with queers in Jamaica. It's so crazy. It's this story is going to do wonders, and I'm someone that is about organic storytelling and the truth. I'm a truth seeker, and I want to break things. I want to break certain constructs.
Mm.
So that's what I'm here for.
Mm. I like that. I
Mhm.
like that ability to, with passion and empathy, but with a fucking sledgehammer.
Mhm.
It's like sometimes
Yeah,
I'll be nice, but sometimes you're
yeah.
just going to need to get fucking hit in the face with this stuff because
Mhm.
these are important times for, I mean, yes, this is a film podcast. However, just as humanity in general,
Mhm.
the topics that we need to be talking about, and as you said, seeing a black lesbian Jamaican female, I
Mhm.
don't see no superhero that there aren't that many. I mean, I don't know if off the top of my head, I wouldn't even be able to name one. I honestly
Mhm.
wouldn't be able to name one.
Mhm.
And this is the time that people like yourself with a real story to tell need to get that out there. And
Yeah.
you just kind of saying, do you know what? This is it. This is my time. I've been put on this planet, on this earth, in this body, in this meat suit, to actually start convincing all you motherfuckers that just think
Mhm.
that like there's some shit that needs to be told. And you're right. And that's
Mhm.
beautiful because it's comes from a personal, it's personal. And those projects, as you called them, those passion projects need to be personal. So
Yeah.
when's that starting to get filmed? So you're going to do some interviewing in Portugal.
Yeah.
The script has already been writing. I can see
Mhm.
the passion was oozing from you when you were talking about it. This is
Oh yeah.
happening. This
This
is
is
it.
happening.
This is
This
it.
The thing about the documentary, I'm applying for grants for that one. So like I'm
Yep.
not waiting on the grant, I'm applying.
Hmm.
That's one thing. Filmmakers need to know not to wait on things, to just do it. It took me a while to realize that because waiting just made me postpone a lot of projects. So I'm going to Portugal to shoot that and also just like connecting with all the other elders and filming them. Documentaries are slow. Like you don't have to rush a doc, but like
Mm.
making sure that I'm structuring the story as I go along. And yeah, so this is like in the future. This might come out in 3 years. I don't know. But for the feature, I am currently writing that one. I wrote the short film, If Only You Knew, which I'm filming next month. It's a short. And that's a proof of concept, sending that to festivals before I do the feature because I'm still writing the feature. So yeah,
Mm.
yeah, I'm just ready to just like get these stories told. That's kind of where I'm at with that, and not waiting for anybody
Can't.
because I'm ready.
No one cares
No
until
one
it's done,
cares.
until you're
Hmm.
there, and then they
Hmm.
hear it, and then they see it, and then all of a sudden everyone's then on the bandwagon going, "Yeah, this is it." And that ability to, and as you said, for everyone listening, no one is going to hand it to you on a plate.
No one is gonna hand it to you. Yeah.
I
No,
love it.
man.
No, they're not. And you're taking it and you're starting it and you're making it and you're doing it. And do you know what? When you win the Oscar, you're going to come back on and we're going to talk about the process and we're going to talk about your acceptance speech, which you're going to do at the end of this ep. So this is, I'm priming you. I'm priming you ready for the big
Yeah,
dog, for
yeah.
the big leagues. Yes.
This is a
uh,
front.
yeah, I love it. And then I guess moving forward, you've got the feature that you want to be making. And this may be maybe a tad too personal, but friends of mine that have funded their own features, it's really tough,
Yeah.
to find the finance, to find the money. How do you survive as a as a director that has a dream that isn't mainstream? It's not Superman. You're not looking to make another movie that has already been made. How is that the drive and the survival instincts that you clearly have? How is
Mhm.
that now as a director in this time? Because we've just come off the back of the strikes, and I know that a lot of the LA, work that was there just kind of stopped. But how do you survive through processes like that? What is it that can drive you and get you through those obstacles?
That's a good question. I had to figure that out. Like, I had to realize where I was in the industry. I had to realize, okay, I'm not getting much work right now. Does it make sense to spend this much money? Does it
Hmm.
make sense to buy beyond my means? It doesn't, because I have projects I want to do. And if there's no income coming in, there's something I have to do to kind of get income. And I had to get a job. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And it's still in the field that I'm doing. I work for many people. I work for directors that have shorts, so I edit shorts, I edit feature docs. Um, I would say that I do that now, but when I was going through what I was going through, which we all need to go through to kind of like get real with ourselves. I got a job like working for a company that needed edits for social. Like I feel like you have to kind of find your footing a bit, like find ways to kind of like make the shit you want to make and not be insecure about it. Like fuck it. Like you need money. We're not rich and we're not gonna get nowhere with that type of attitude thinking I deserve this, so I'm not doing that, you know? Um so yeah, like getting a job, a consistent part-time is good, and that's what I did. And making time to still network and meet people in the industry, where like whether I go to a networking um, event where I see a lot of people that work for brands,
Hmm.
creatives and director reps. Um, just like getting my name out there more, going to film festivals, and also knowing and learning that your film doesn't have to look the best. It doesn't have to be the best quality for it to, be accepted into a film festival. As long as you have the passion and the drive, the film committee or whoever programmers, when they see that film and they see the passion behind the story, they're gonna pick that film, and your film is just gonna circulate, and your name is gonna get out there a little bit, and people are gonna reach out to you. It's the consistency for me. It's the not stopping and not giving up. You know what I mean? So that's what got me through, and that's what's still getting me through, and not turning down jobs, whether the pay is small or large. I mean, I'm not going to turn down a large job, but if it's small, like just don't turn down $1,000. Yes, you can make more money than that, but take the job for you to buy food, for you to go out here and there. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's getting real with yourself. And yeah, that's it.
What did getting real with yourself look like for you?
I mean, when I first got signed, I didn't look for work. I just thought they were gonna send me work. And I sat there on the couch, smiling, waiting until my smile turned into a frown. Like, when am I gonna get work? I'm a good creative. I deserve work. And I had to learn that no, when you're represented, they support you. They just support you. Yeah, they can find stuff for you, but there's still much more work to put in order to secure the job. Man, that was a big learning curve. I just thought I'm about to get all these cool commercials and do all this cool shit and make all this fucking money. Like,
Super Bowl
Yeah,
commercial. Here I come.
yeah, exactly. I really thought that's what I was gonna be doing.
Yeah.
So reality hit, and I learned it doesn't start like that, and it's not always like that. You know what I mean? If at all. So I still have to put in work. I still have to hustle. I still have to network. I still have to, you know, find my community. Like I still have to do my shit. So none of that should stop just because you get represented. And I think that's what a lot of filmmaker friends of mine's, are trying to understand. Oh, I can't wait to be represented. And it's like, no, I mean, you still need to do your thing. Like, don't
Mm.
think that's going to change your life, you know? Yeah. So I had to get real with myself in that moment of sadness because that can make you feel like you're not good enough. If you sit in that sadness for too long and you see other directors, because if you follow all these cool directors and you see all their work, that is just going to make you go deeper into this rabbit hole of
Mm.
depression, you know?
Yep.
So yeah, it's trying to live, and living what that looks like as a creative is doing what you love.
Mm. And how important is the community and the family around you while you're going through those difficult, soul searching moments?
It's important. It's important, but I think with my family, my mom was more like, "Oh, you got to get a regular job." Because I don't think that's gonna work for you. um, but there were moments where she was encouraging my mother. Um, my partner, she's very, very encouraging as well. And it's sad when you can't even pay for things when you're with your partner and
Mm.
you're like, as director, you're like, am I a director? I don't know what I am. Like, you know, but having your partner, you know, it's motivating when my mother was like, get a real job because that's not what I want. You know
Mm.
what I mean? I want something part-time. I'll get a job, but like not like the type of job she wants me to get. But it was motivating hearing her say that because it just ignited me more to continue to be consistent in this field.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, like friendships are important because you're able to kind of like get out of your mind. It was very important for me to hang out with my friends and to not think about where I'm supposed to be. I think that also gets you down. I'm where I am supposed to be right now. I'm
Damn
where I
straight.
am supposed to be, living, loving what I do, being authentic, telling stories that are true to me. And if people find that attractive, and that's the brands and stuff and whoever, then they're the people that are for me. But if they don't, they don't. They don't fuck with it, they don't fuck with it. That's okay. You
Damn
know?
straight.
So I'm cool.
Yeah, you are fucking cool. I think that's the one word that I could definitely fucking say. You are fucking cool.
I called
And
Toby. I was like, Toby, when am I gonna get work? Like, he was like, Saf, it doesn't work like that. So he had to bring me back to earth so many times.
yeah, but you got an experienced exec there, MD that knows the game, and
Yeah.
that's important. Is that you kind of surround yourself with people that, and I do this with my runners. It's like you always want to be around people that one are on your level, that are going
Hmm.
through the same shit as you, that you can go, fuck, you phone them up and you go, fucking hell, I've just da 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 da. You need to have someone ahead of you doing the same role that you can look up to, that can give you advice. But really important is those people that want to be you, that are
Yeah.
coming up, that you can teach. And I think
Mhm.
what's really shining through is that you clearly have a voice. And I love, and I don't know you well enough, but I'm going to put it out there. Your mum knows you probably better than anyone on this planet. And when
Yeah.
she threw that little grenade at you about getting a real job, she knew it was going to do one thing. It was going to fucking motivate you, give you
Mhm.
that little kick up the arse that you
Mhm.
needed, the little fire underneath you to get you fucking motivated. And I think
Mhm.
that's what's really beautiful about having people, that close network around you that can support you, but know when to be real. As you said, know when to fucking tell you, Kev, just, you got to do something, because the
Yeah.
sitting around on the sofa is only making you either more depressed or more bummed out or more going into that rabbit hole of looking at YouTube, looking and going, fuck everyone, Instagram, everyone's working apart from me. And what have
Mhm.
I done? Where's my
Mm-hmm.
chance? And I think you're right. The universe, as I'm a massive big believer, that's why it's called the film gods. The universe gives you things and gives you opportunities and gives you lessons that you need to work through to then understand and be grateful for the things that you have. If, you know, the you 5 years ago that probably wanted to be a rep director would be looking at you now going, the fuck are you moaning about? We're shooting little, you know, music videos and I'm editing everything and I'm doing 20-hour days and you're getting the chance to be rep by a decent company. It's like there's these little just reminders that the universe just kind of hands you that you go, oh yeah, I am grateful. Thank you
Mm-hmm.
for giving me my partner, my parents, my mum, my sibling, you know, all of that. And I think it's beautiful. And I think actually what I've gained from what you're saying is, and what I'm taking away is, you can have a dream,
Mm-hmm.
you can have a passion, and you can have a vision for where you want to go and what you want your life to be and what you want to do. But if you sit on the couch and you do nothing, nothing's going to come to you.
Yeah.
And you've got this fire, this passion, this belief. And I honestly, in, you know, when that film is written and when you go and make it and when it goes and wins that award, you may listen back to this episode and you'll be like, what's she talking about? We had it, you know, it's like, this now it gets hard. This now gets hard because now you have a, you know, you've got a reputation, you've got a thing, you have a, you're going up the plateau. You're now on a new plateau. You're going to the next plateau, and this is why I wanted to get you on, because yes, we have people that are more experienced, and yes, we have people that are less experienced than you. But your specific journey is something that is personal to you,
Mm-hmm.
and it's beautiful that you've had the highs, you've had the lows, you've had the moments of regret's the wrong word, but questioning whether maybe I should have been a teacher. Maybe I should have gone and become a, you know, I should have stayed as a postman or I should have stayed in a postal service. You know, that's where I should have been. But it's not where you should have been, because you are exactly where you are. And I love it. And we've got to we're getting close to like the 45-minute mark. So I've loved the ep. Is there anything that you want to touch base on before we do the last two questions? Any topics, anything that you want to just talk about for five before we get to the last two questions?
No, I feel like we touched on a lot.
Yeah, we touched on a lot. It's
Yeah.
good. So so the second to last question is always the advice to your younger self. And it was always just a question that I would just throw out there and I would give to the person to answer. But in the recent episodes, as we're talking, there's always a person, because I just see when you're talking, when people are talking, I visualize and I see you where you are and how you're doing it.
Mm,
And what I'd love you to do is just where you are now, with the experience that you have, the moment, and I'd like you to talk to, and I like the advice to be for this younger you,
mm,
where you know you've had your experiences, you've gone to, you know, done your school, you've done your high school, you got to college, and you knew deep down in your heart and your soul that what you were doing in the fashion industry wasn't for you, and you stopped, and your brother came along and you started making these videos and you didn't know what you were doing,
mm.
but you knew there was something there. If you had that person, that younger you now sitting opposite you, what is your advice to them?
Hey, you.
Hi.
My advice to you, young Saf, is don't wait for the fire. Ignite the fire. Don't think you're not good enough, because you are. Don't worry about what people think, because you're great. Learn to love who you are. Learn your story. Learn to love yourself more every day. And don't focus on what you don't have. All of that is going to make you lose focus on your purpose. So just learn to live, learn to love, and learn to create more every day. That's what I would say.
I think this is the point where we just drop the mic. I don't even say the last question and we just end the air. That is beautiful. And I think that sums you up. I
Mm-hmm.
think that moment there of empathy for yourself, having an understanding of who you are, because it could, I mean, I can't imagine how tough it is growing up
Mm-hmm.
in another country, going through what you're going through, doing everything that you're doing. And everyone has their journey.
Mm-hmm.
And that ability to, have a rounded approach to everything that happens to you, but know that with love and with consistency and with passion, life will just happen. And the beauty of it is it's not always going to be ups, it's not always going to be downs, but they even each other out. I love it. I think it's fucking beautiful. So we're now going to fast forward
Mm-hmm.
5 years. The film's just come out. The
Yeah.
drum rolls happened. I don't know who's going to be up on stage. Maybe it's someone famous is up on stage and they've got the golden envelope. It's the Oscars. And the
Mm-hmm.
winner is, and they pull your name out. So I step away. This
Mm-hmm.
is your acceptance speech to give us a shout to anyone that you want to shout out to, send love to, projects about, all that stuff. So the mic is yours.
I would say, first and foremost, I give thanks to the Most High. I give thanks to God for allowing me to have this ability, this power to create and to speak through visuals. Um, and then I want to give thanks to my mother, who, as a single mother, took care of me, and she was very consistent in her love, even though it was tough love and there was soft love at the same time, which, as a single mother, like allowed me um as I got older, it allowed me to learn like what type of love I would want. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, shout out to my mother, shout out to my family for believing in me and for always wanting me to continue doing what I'm doing. Shout out to Toby, man. Shout out to him
Shout
being the
out.
only rep that hit me back, like that saw something in me and still sees something in me, um, and tries to do his best to connect me, um, and bring me into many places and connect me with many people. Shout out to my partner, who I'm married to now.
Congratulations. Nice.
Um, this is the vision, 5 years. We're not married yet, but
Oh, sorry. Yeah, of course. Sorry. I was totally engrossed. You totally had me. I was just like, this is amazing.
shout out to her for always supporting me and for telling me I'm great. And yeah, like shout out to myself, like for never giving up. Like, I love what I do, and I'm happy that within this spiritual balance of mine, I'm able to embrace my defeats and to love my wins all together. So yeah.
Amazing. Ladies and gents, I told you it was going to be an absolute banger of an ep. You special people for hearing such a talented person at the start of a journey. So thank you so much for coming on, Saf.
Thank you.
As always, ladies and gents, please like, subscribe, and share. And until we meet again, that is a wrap. So that was a chat with the king or queen in the game. I'll give it a shout at the end so you all know the name. It's the Film Gods Podcast. The what? The Film God Podcast.